Speaking of politicians.
Speaking of.
Sorry, just trying to get ourselves together. I know you guys have seen me throughout the day. I'll reintroduce myself. My name is Rasha Abu Salem, child of Palestinian refugees, grew up in Jersey. My dad was born in 1940 Haifa. My mom's family's from Nazareth. My dad was forced out, his family and my mom's family were forced out at gunpoint out of their homes in 1948. Had to walk to the Lebanese refugee camps. My dad lived in a refugee camp from the ages of 8 to 29 years old. And these aren't the refugee camps that you see today. These are bad now. I would know because I'm an international humanitarian. I've worked in various refugee camps. Back then it was even worse because the world was just starting to figure out how to deal with refugees. As I stand here today, I look at this beautiful crowd and you know what I see? I see people of different backgrounds coming together for truth and justice. And again, as a child of Palestinian refugees, I can't express personally how much that means to me, but I know for my Palestinian brothers and sisters, they express their gratitude for all the voices that are standing up against oppression and occupation. So we thank you.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine! I think we need to address one of the main reasons we're all gathered here today, and that is Senator Reid. Good question. But I'm here, and I will tell you about Senator Reid. All right. When asked about supporting President Biden's $735 million in sales of bombs and military equipment that just took place several days ago, Senator Reid said, and I quote, "Frankly, this is not a mercy resupply. This was something they ordered routinely," and said he supported the sale, and I quote, "because they are designed to make weapons precise. In this conflict, that would seem to be a more reasonable transfer." This is a quote from Senator Reid regarding the sales of weapons. Senator Reid, I know you can hear me wherever you are. I would love to hear more about what you mean regarding this statement in its current context. Over 60 Palestinian children are dead. Is that the position you speak about? Over 1,900 Palestinians injured and over 72,000 internally displaced in the past couple of weeks. Is that the position you speak of? Senator Reid, why did you support a resolution of disapproval of arms to the UAE, but support the sales of arms to the apartheid state of Israel? That's a question I'd like answered. They demand to know why their hard-earned money is going to not only support a violent apartheid, but why a public servant is so callously speaking of precision of military weapons as children are being bombed with that said equipment. We demand to know as voters why Senator Reid makes such statements. While we're at it, speaking of politicians, let's make sure to highlight that Senator Reid has profited off of war machinery and the killing of innocent civilians for years. Senator Reid has taken almost $10,000 in campaign contributions from the manufacturer of these bombs, Boeing, and over $200,000 from the defense industry. I don't know about any of you, but, sorry.
There's always a but.
I don't know how such people sleep at night knowing the destruction they're causing. I don't know about you guys, but I want to be able to sleep at night knowing that that's what I'm contributing to.
Yeah.
Let's fire him.
Yeah.
But we can't only speak of Senator Reid now, can we? messages to President Biden. Whom we as Americans elected with immense faith to lead us out of the darkness over the past several years that we've had to endure. Well, we believed in President Biden and his promises of justice and unity. Yet just several days ago, President Biden showed us that his mercy and justice only apply to certain groups.
Hypocrite!
What does it say about a politician when he knows children are being slaughtered, but he still provides their oppressor with hundreds of millions of dollars in military equipment? What does it say to those Palestinian families? But more importantly, what does it say to us as his American constituents? What does it say to the voters? We elected you, President Biden, because you told us you would be a different kind of president. But alas, you have only repeated the same sentiment as former presidents, Democratic or Republican. Israel has a right to defend itself. We know. We've heard it for decades. Do Palestinians not deserve the same rights?
That's right.
As Americans, President Biden, we demand to have answers. Why are our tax dollars used to support what is the world's only remaining apartheid? Why are our tax dollars being used to help one of the world's strongest armies callously slaughter innocent civilians who have no way of escaping? As we speak, there are some brave politicians, though, speaking up in an attempt to block this weapons sale, including AOC and Bernie Sanders. I know some of you have seen it. So power to them. I want to touch on one quick thing. I know we've all heard of the ceasefire that took place early this morning. I don't know how many of you know that soon after, just a mere hours later, Israel raided Al-Aqsa again after prayer. After Jum'ah prayer, they raided and they attacked with tear gas and sound grenades. I was there in 2014 and I witnessed one of these raids myself. It is brutal and it is cowardly.
That's right.
A ceasefire, what does that mean? We're not dealing with the root cause. What is the root cause? Apartheid, occupation, oppression, land theft, ethnic cleansing. President Biden and Senator Reid, I promise you that we are paying attention. We all know that this time is different. This time, Palestinians' voices are finally being heard around the world. I know you all feel it. Hundreds of thousands of people around the world demand justice and demand an end to Israeli colonialism and apartheid. We are watching what our politicians do. And I could promise you that you will be remembered as being on the wrong side of history if this arms sales goes through. And most importantly, come next election, we will remember whether or not you heard the voices of the people. We will remember if you stood for justice and unity, as you promised. Some politicians may think we're a minority, but they forget that several minorities together make a majority, and together we will prevail. And the majority demand of Palestinian freedom and an end to Israeli apartheid and occupation. And today, we stand here, brothers and sisters, calling out for an end to oppression, an end to injustice, an end to apartheid. The time has come for our voices to be heard, loud and clear. Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
And lastly, folks, we will remember who was on the side of truth and justice and who was on the side of prophets. Thank you all. Free Palestine.